You're looking at a man who throws hand sanitizer at his rival in a hotel lobby. Security has to step in before it turns into a real brawl.
So from now on, he'll forever be known as Mr. Hand Sanitizer. He's tried to make it look good on his part when he looks like an absolute idiot. I can't believe he posted that video. He's made himself look so stupid.
And years later, that same man is the one fans line up to hear speak about grief and mental health.
I woke up on to a message that one of my friends back home had killed himself. There's a stigma in this world that men can't talk. Listen, if you're a man and you've got weight on your shoulders and you think the only way you can solve it is by killing yourself, please speak to someone. People would rather, I know I'd rather me mate cry on my shoulder than go to his funeral next week. So please, let's get rid of this stigma and men start talking.
That's not a contradiction. That's Paddy Pimblett. This is a fighter who can mock a rival's heritage one week and cry in the octagon over a friend's death the next.
And I had some other horrible news the other day. 5 hours before it was due to weigh in, I woke up and found out one of my mates had took his own life. It's been a hard week, to be honest.
And somehow, neither moment feels fake.
Very hard week. As I said there, I just wish lads would talk more. Lads don't, they sit in and they bottle it up and they end up taking their own lives, something that they can't take back.
That's the trick nobody else in the sport has figured out. So how does a Scouser from Liverpool with 2 octagon losses become more must-watch than half the champions on the roster? Let's break down exactly how Paddy Pimblett turned chaos, honesty, and a microphone into the biggest personality the UFC has today.
What's your name?
Paddy Pimblett.
Okay, do you have a fight nickname?
My coach calls me Paddy the Baddy Pimblett.
I grew up in Iton, lad. Greystone. Not typically bad area or nothing.
I'm the baby out of all the grandkids as well, so I was baby Patrick. That was my name for years. I'm just a normal kid from a housing estate in Iton.
Paddy Pimblett was just a teenager from Liverpool learning to fight because there wasn't much else on offer.
I was the skinniest kid ever, know what I mean? I was proper skinny.
I wanted to be a singer when I was a kid. I applied for Britain's Got Talent when I was like 12.
No,
I was like
didn't.
10.
Right.
Yeah, I'd done the talent show in like year 4 and year 6 in our school, and yeah, in year 4 I sang Where Is the Love by the Black Eyed Peas.
I enjoyed school and I didn't. It was funny sometimes and like I hated it other times. When I look back at it now, I hated it. My mate Kyle Wilson, he lives round the corner from me still to this day. He was the one who showed me UFC. He showed me a fight, Clay Guida versus Diego Sanchez. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's sick, that. And then it was through him, he knew someone called Joe Neal who trained. And I went to Next Gen because of him. Yeah. The teacher, who's now the head teacher of the school, turned to me and said, what are you wasting your time with that for, Patrick? You're an academic, you should be using your brain. You're not big enough for any of that. You're too small for all that.
And I wasn't the hardest in my school, I wasn't the hardest in my year. You know what I mean? I was just a little kid. I just started doing something and put me heart, mind and soul into it, lad.
Just after me 16th birthday, lad, not long after me 16th birthday, I ended up didn't get kicked out, to give me extended study leave.
I can remember him being in trouble, day to day. And I think with Patrick, I don't think it was anything, like major. I think it was an accumulation of different incidences.
He turned professional at 17 years old. No Olympic wrestling pedigree, no childhood spent in an elite academy, just a working class kid from Next Generation MMA who fell in love with a brutal sport the hard way and never let go of it.
And it happened at the perfect time.
Well, I know the exact date.
Love it.
It was the 20th of January 2010. Stepped on the mat in the old Next Generation in the 051 gym.
I was only training for about a week in the mornings, and one of the lads in the gym, Aaron, pulled out of his fight the next weekend, and I was only 16 at the time, and Paul said to me, do you want to take this fight? And I was like, yeah, of course I do, I'll take that fight.
He denied the UFC not once but twice early in his career, betting on himself with Cage Warriors instead, grinding out a featherweight title on the regional circuit before the biggest promotion on earth came calling in 2021. That's the first thing people forget about Pimblett. This wasn't a guy who got lucky and stumbled into fame. This was a guy who spent nearly a decade in smaller cages, building the exact skill set and the exact mouth that would eventually make him must-watch television.
Paddy Pimblett versus Luigi Vendramini takes place this weekend on the main card of UFC Fight Night Vegas, and I can't wait to finally see the debut of Paddy Pimblett in the UFC. I've been waiting for this moment for a very, very long time. I'm extremely excited for this moment.
They offered me twice, to be honest. I said no twice, but the first time I was 21, I was 13-1, I'd just won the featherweight title, and at the time, Cage Warriors offered me a big new bumper contract that I don't think any 21-year-old had ever been offered that sort of money. And I was getting paid in pounds sterling, and I was still fighting in local in the UK.
September 2021, Las Vegas.
Let's talk about your opponent, Luigi Vendramini, 9-2 record. What do you know about him? How do you feel like you match up against him here?
He's good first opponent, know what I mean? He's not an easy fight, he's a tough first fight, but as I say, I'm thinking about much bigger things than Luigi Vendramini, so I'm expecting to finish him inside 2. I won't be happy with my performance if I don't finish him within 2. Simple as that. It's just, it was always meant to be, wasn't it? Everyone knew that I was going to end up eventually being here, so it wasn't a question of if I was going to be in the UFC, it was when. And the time's finally arrived, lad. I'm here, and I'm here to make a statement, lad, and to let everyone know the boy is. You've got to, obviously, anyone you fight, like, you've got to be careful, because anyone can throw a big overhand right or a big left hook and can knock you out on any given day. But I think wherever the fight goes, I'm better than him.
I think this fight is really good for me because he do all the work, because I don't like to talk too much. Like all my life, I just go and fight and enjoy this. So he works for me. I feel like he talk, blah, blah. People like to see him. If I'm KO him or all the famous for me. So I think I have 1 point now.
Paddy Pimblett versus Luigi Vendramini. A relatively unknown Brit steps into the octagon for the first time against Luigi Vendramini, an Italian brawler with knockout power of his own. Nobody outside the hardcore British MMA scene really knew who Pimblett was yet. That was about to change in less than 5 minutes. Pimblett came out fast, pressured immediately, and finished Vendramini via strikes in the first round. Clean, violent, efficient. It was the kind of debut that makes matchmakers sit up and start planning your next 3 fights before you've even left the cage. None, just a statement, a finish, a performance of the night bonus, and the first hint that this kid from Liverpool had main event level charisma to go with the skill set. He grabbed the microphone that night, and the personality was already fully formed.
Paddy Pimblett showed that he is the real deal.
Does not look like a fighter. He gets into the ring, beats the shit out of this guy, gets on the mic, gives the most electric interview I've ever heard. I say, hey, Paddy the Baddy, I'm a big fan. I want to sponsor you.
The UFC had just signed a fighter. What they didn't fully realize yet was that they'd also just signed their next box office attraction.
I knew that anyway. I knew when I got signed that they'd make a big deal of it because I'm me. You know what I mean? Just because it's me. I know that anyway. I put bums on seats and I bring hype to shows, and I knew they were going to make a big deal out of it. Not many people get like just signed for the UFC on the actual UFC page when they get signed. You know what I mean? And I got that.
It's normal for him to have all this hype. He's from London, and most of his fights have been here. But I actually think he's a bit of a kid, and he's got good things, but he's got a lot of bad things as well. So.
But yeah, I knew this was going to happen, lad. Knew this was coming. I've envisioned all this, lad. I can't wait to get my hand raised on Saturday, and when there's pandemonium in the crowd, it's going to be fantastic.
Paddy Pimblett vs Rodrigo Fight 2, and the pressure was already building. 1 good performance can be a fluke. 2 good performances start a pattern, and Pimblett knew it. Pimblett wrapped up a first-round submission, extending his UFC record to 2-0 and cementing the idea that he wasn't just a striker with a good chin. He had real jiu-jitsu underneath that black belt, and he wasn't afraid to hunt for it. None to speak of. Just a fighter quietly building the most important thing in this sport, credibility. 2 fights in, and the Baddy chants were already starting to spread beyond Liverpool. But nothing could have prepared anyone, including Pimblett himself, for what was about to happen in his very next walk to the cage.
I know a lot of people call me overrated and say I'm not that good, but I think he's overrated, lad. I'm going to show that there's levels to this. There's levels to this MMA, lad. There's levels in the UFC, and I'm a level above him, lad. I'm going to show that I'm not a flash in the pan, and I'm going to finish him in the first round. People are saying, oh, it's going to be an exciting grappling match, but I'm a much better grappler than him. I am so much better on the floor than he is. Like, he hasn't got hands, you know what I mean? He hasn't got a set of hands. He can't strike to save his life. He couldn't finish his dinner. You know what I mean? He finished Matt Wagen, who should be retired by now. I can remember watching The Ultimate Fighter season 5. I would have beat him back then when I was like 15. You know what I mean?
This is a fight, not because of what happened in the cage, but because of what happened 5 hours before Pimblett even stepped on the scale. At 4 in the morning on fight week, Pimblett got a text message no one ever wants to receive. A close friend back home in Liverpool had taken his own life. He could have pulled out.
I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna take his head off. I'm not gonna be shooting no takedowns. I'm coming to stand with him and to take his head off. I'm coming to take his chin on with me.
Last one for me, just so we can make sure we still have the headline. The plan is still to knock him out and twerk on him afterwards?
Yeah, finish the fight, twerk, go home.
Nobody would have blamed him. Instead, he chose to fight anyway. Pimblett finished Jordan Leavitt with a second-round rear-naked choke in front of a deafening O2 Arena crowd that was already chanting his name before the opening bell. It was a dominant, composed performance from a man who, hours earlier, had been grieving in a hotel room. No controversy in the cage. The only controversy that night was the one raging in Pimblett's own head, and he chose to talk about it in front of the entire world instead of burying it.
You're a man, and you've got weight on your shoulders, and you think the only way you can solve this by killing yourself? Please speak to someone. I know I'd rather me mate cry on my shoulder than go to his funeral next week. So please, let's get rid of this stigma and men start talking.
What happened next is the single most important moment of Pimblett's career, and arguably one of the most important moments in modern UFC history. Fighting back tears, he dedicated the win to his friend Ricky and used his microphone time to speak directly to men watching at home. He said he'd rather someone cry on his shoulder than have him attend their funeral the following week, and called for men everywhere to break the stigma and start talking. The clip was watched more than 15 million times. Fans would later tell him, in person, that hearing those words on a random Saturday night talked them out of ending their own lives.
And Paddy's message when he was in the ring after he won, talking about his buddy that passed away, saved my life. And I just wanted to say thank you to him.
Think about that for a second. This man didn't just win a fight that night. He may have quietly saved lives with a 90-second interview. That's not something PR builds. That's not something a highlight reel manufactures. That is the single moment that transformed Paddy Pimblett from promising British prospect into something the sport had never really had before. A fighter people loved before they even cared about his record.
I mean, I've never seen a guy more comfortable in front of a crowd. This guy was dancing. The crowd's going, whoa, Paddy the Baddy. They're singing for this kid as he walks into the octagon. He went out there and he got it done. But Jared Gordon, as many expected, was the toughest test to date. He got through this test. But going forward, there are some things that he has to do in order to really reach the level of the last star we had from overseas and Conor McGregor. Because the one thing Conor did, he was funny, he was exciting, but he won, and he won at a championship level.
I aspire to be champion one day, so I need to do the same thing. Otherwise, I'll be disappointed. But you can't prepare to fight me, lad. You can't get a sparring partner who can come in and spar like me. I've got weird striking, weird wrestling, and weird jiu-jitsu.
And you think that you're going to prepare for something and
in certain fights. Oh, I'm getting ready for this, I'm getting ready for that. And then it never happens in the fight. And you're like, oh, well, I did all that for nothing. And that's how a lot of my fights have been. So fight's a fight, man. This is MMA, you know? So we'll see I know what's going to happen.
Paddy Pimblett first taste of the pay-per-view main card, and fittingly, his opponent shared almost the exact same scar tissue. Jared Gordon had also lost a close friend to suicide, and the two men publicly floated the idea of building a mental health foundation together.
I was 22 when I went to my first treatment center. I met two guys in there. They showed me how to use needles, and I had my first bundle of heroin. When I started using IV drugs, my life quickly deteriorated. There's no functionality in shooting drugs. Your life quickly gets out of control.
Even while preparing to throw punches at each other's heads for a living, it's one of the strangest, most human dynamics in the sport.
I didn't save anyone's life, lad. I just said what anyone in my position should say. I feel like people who are in the public eye, anything like that, they should speak about, you know what I mean? Because people do sit up and take notice. Things like that, that's proper close to my heart now, because Ricky took his own life.
Two rivals who understood each other's grief better than almost anyone else in the building. Pimblett controlled large stretches of the fight, mixing volume striking with grappling exchanges, and walked away with a 3-round unanimous decision, pushing his UFC record to a perfect 4-0.
Coming into this fight, did you think that this was going to be the most difficult test of your UFC career?
Yeah, Jared's one tough. Know what I mean? He is one tough man. The trials and tribulations he's had in his life, and he's come back. Hats off to Jared. Something I want to do with Jared now is I've started my own foundation. I want to help some of the charities where he works with my foundation. I want to work together. Now we fought in here, I want to work together outside the cage.
The scorecards themselves weren't the real controversy. The real controversy, and one that would follow Pimblett for years, was his weight cut. Critics and rival fighters piled on, questioning how a man who looked visibly heavy backstage could be making 155 pounds on fight night.
Seriously, fluctuation. He said he was 200 pounds on Saturday night. What do you make of the fact that he blows up and blows down in between fights?
It's not good for you, you know? I mean, we all know that. We know that fluctuating and cutting that much weight is very bad. And it definitely doesn't prolong your career.
It became one of the most talked about side stories of his entire career, a recurring jab that Pimblett would have to keep answering with his fists.
How did anyone think he won that fight? Do you win fights off getting punched in the face?
He landed some big shots, and you showed you've got a chin, and sometimes your chin's a little bit high as well.
Yeah, it is. My chin is iron. No one's ever going to tell me to change it. My coaches try and get me to put my chin down, but that's my style. You know what I mean? I like being in exciting fights.
He was undefeated in the UFC, he was on pay-per-view, and he was already one of the most talked about fighters in the promotion, for better and for worse.
Do you think he got robbed in the Paddy fight?
I do. You're winning a great fight. And then all of a sudden he took the third round to go, I'm going to just hug and hold and just be safe and just win that way. Nuh-uh, see? I'm trying to get these.
Whether people loved him or wanted to see him beaten, one thing was already undeniable. Nobody was changing the channel when Paddy Pimblett walked out.
Paddy Pimblett, is this just another fight for you, or are you pretty scared of Tony with David, or is this just another fight?
Absolutely nothing. He has nothing to gain from this fight. In his mind, he already lost. You care about me blocking you on Instagram. That's what you care about. You care about the most stupidest.
You blocked me. I'm not that much of a little to block someone on Instagram.
He's got David Goggins in his corner, though.
David Goggins ain't got shit on me. When I finish Tony, I'll go over to David and say, who's going to carry the boat, son? Who's going to carry them? Because it's not him, is it?
Paddy Pimblett versus Tony Ferguson. Say what you want about where Tony Ferguson's career had gone by this point, but this was still a former interim champion, still a legend of the division, and still a dangerous name to put next to yours on a poster.
Tell me about what you have to do to defeat Tony Ferguson. He used to hold the interim title. He had a very long run at 155 pounds where he did not taste defeat. What now are the threats?
Not much. He's just got his power. You know what I mean? As you know, when you age, the last thing to go is power, and that's all I've got to watch out for, that one big shot. Other than that, he's lost his athleticism, his speed. I'm better striking, better jiu-jitsu, better wrestling. And I'm going to dominate him come tomorrow night. If I don't finish him in the first, I'll be very disappointed in myself.
You know it. I'm the boogeyman, I'm El Cucuy. And what you do is when you piss off the boogeyman, you're going to get relentless back.
Tony Ferguson is an animal. An animal.
Like that.
He's the scariest guy at 155 in my word.
I agree.
In my world, because he don't get tired.
Yeah.
That Cowboy fight freaked me out. Cowboy looked like Tony had bricks in his gloves.
This was the fight where Pimblett was supposed to finally run into a level of experience that would expose him. Instead, Pimblett handled him comfortably across 3 rounds, using his grappling and volume to control the pace and cruise to a clean, unanimous decision.
This fight for you kind of wanted a redemption, and you got that opportunity tonight against a legend.
An absolute legend, though. Everyone give a round of applause this year for Tony Ferguson. Legend. Absolute legend of the sport. Legend of my division. And it's a honour to share the cage with him. And Jesus Christ, man. How did he survive that first round there? I blew me load trying to get him out of there.
The only real debate afterward was about Ferguson's health and whether he should still be fighting at the top level at all. Nothing about Pimblett's performance was in question. 5 fights in, still unbeaten, the doubters wanted a name. He'd just beaten one.
What about a big name right now? Everyone's talking about your division is Paddy Pimblett. You guys are in the same weight class. Does that fight interest you?
You sitting at the Paddy. You sitting at the Paddy. That fucking lame. That amateur.
You're straight off a fight with
talking. He's an amateur, bro. He's over here shit talking, and he ain't earned no respect. Who did he fight? You know, Jared Gordon's like a guy like on the bottom of the tier that anybody would fight. They gave him the perfect fight, and he couldn't even do shit to the guy. He lost every round.
King Green said he was born in fire. He went through the fire to get where he is, and you were basically given everything, and the UFC made you. I'm curious, what do you make of his statements?
Talk shit, lad. Know what I mean? I made myself, lad. I promote myself. I win me fights. Know what I mean? He tried to say that I'm a spoiled kid. Know what I mean? It's mad. Just because I put bums on seats, lad, I got a pair of shorts and you never. Don't need to cry.
This crowd is fucking awesome. I'm tripping out right now. I fucking love it. Manchester, I came here for you. I came for the real Englishmen. I came here to show a real fight. If you're with me, you're with me. If you're against me, you're against me. That's fine. But when it comes to the fight, I'm with you.
So I'm going to have to go with Bobby Green. I think he's going to be the safer bet here.
Ooh, let's go with Bobby Green. Yeah, Bobby Green.
You're the next one. Flat on your back. Don't touch him.
Come on,
Let's go.
Chill out.
They can save you now.
I don't watch his fights, so I really don't know much about the guy. I just see him doing this little thing. I'm like, who does that?
King Green had gone roughly 15 years without ever being tapped out. 15 years. That's not a gatekeeper, that's a wall.
We never met. He was being he didn't want to look at me or give me the attention.
You had mentioned in an interview suffering with some mental health issues during this camp.
Go a few things personally, lad. It was just getting me down, lad, in a bit of depression and that. And then the haters on social media, lad, wow. Some of the comments that I got, lad.
Don't yourself, you're a disrespect to the country, you might as well just...
Coach pulled me to one side one day and was like, if we continue like this, then I think it's best that we pull you out. There's no point in putting you into a fight what you're not going to be mentally ready for.
Pimblett found a triangle choke and broke that streak in the very first round, adding yet another elite finish to a submission that was quietly becoming one of the best in the entire lightweight division. None in the cage. The only argument left afterward was where Pimblett belonged in the rankings, because he'd officially run out of easy answers to give the doubters.
He'll move the goalpost again now, though. Know what I mean? People will say now, oh, Bobby was old, Bobby's a has-been just because I beat him. Where before it was, oh, Bobby's gonna punch his head and he's not gonna...
Paddy's one of those guys that
everybody talks shit about, and everybody wants to fight him, and everybody wants to call him out, and he keeps winning. And he looked damn good tonight.
That was the best performance of his life. That was the biggest fight that the gym's ever had, and he
7 fights into his UFC career, undefeated, and a submission nobody could laugh off anymore. But the loudest rivalry of his career wasn't even happening inside the octagon yet. The Ilia Topuria feud, every great personality in this sport needs a villain, and for Pimblett, that villain became Ilia Topuria. It started years earlier with an online spat that spiraled into a real hotel confrontation. Cameras rolling, hand sanitizer flying, security stepping in before it turned into an actual brawl. From that moment on, this stopped being a normal UFC rivalry and became something closer to a blood feud.
What excites me more is the fight with Paddy.
Really?
Yeah, that fight excites me even more. He said something about Georgia.
Oh, he said something about your country?
Yeah.
What is that?
He said, like, now I understand why the Russians are bombing Georgia or something, like putting bombs in Georgia.
Whoa.
And I'm like, bro.
Whoa.
Don't joke with that.
There's no doubt to analyze here, and that's exactly the point.
He missed with his punch by about that much and I bounced the bottle off his head. You know what I mean? He's an absolute idiot, little bully, and thinks that he's someone that he's not. You know what I mean?
For years, these two never even needed to share an octagon to dominate headlines. Pimblett called him fake, called him a copycat, and openly mocked his size and his heritage. Ilia Topuria fired back just as hard. It became, in Pimblett's own words,
"You're a little
Shut up, if not, I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna crush your face right here.
Do it then, you little
mushroom."
fart.
You have another question?
Do it. Do it then, you little pussy. What? Do it. Do it. Come on, do something then. Do something, stand up. What'll you do? You'll do nothing. You'll do nothing, you little fart. Go and sit back down. Sit back down, you little pussy. Puta.
Fucking pussy.
the first rivalry since Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov, where the hatred actually felt real. Plenty of comments about nationality, comments about war, public apologies that never fully extinguished the fire, and an ongoing argument about who made who famous.
Like the man to man, you said something about me. I went to your country, I slapped your face, I get at the waist in green, I walk like a king in your street.
You talking English?
What you did? What you
Is that
did,
English?
Man? Yeah, of course I
Speak
do.
English for the people.
Shut up.
Not German or Spanish like you're from.
I'm talking in English and you in English, y que te follen en español.
When Topuria briefly stepped away from the sport for personal reasons, even Pimblett softened, publicly wishing him well while still needling him about a possible walkover to the undisputed title.
I'd love to welcome Topuria. I'd love to welcome El Chirizo to lightweight. I'd love to, but I've heard he wants to sit out and try and just get a title shot. I personally think he needs to fight somebody at 155 at least before he gets a title shot.
This is the rivalry that proves personality isn't built in the cage alone. It's built in press conferences, in podcast rants, in petty jabs traded across social media for years on end. Whether or not Pimblett and Topuria ever actually fight, this feud alone has done more for Pimblett's must-watch status than half of his actual wins combined.
Who would you like to fight next?
Anyone in the top 4, top 5. I want that world title. All laugh all you want and say I'll never be champ. Just like you said, I'll never get ranked. I'll never be on the top 10. But what now? You gang of mushrooms.
A genuine top 10 name and a dangerous one. Michael Chandler brought former Bellator gold, knockout power, and years of experience against elite competition.
Such a fucking great guy. I don't care what you people think of his fighting style, you know, all that stuff. He's a fucking great guy, a person, you know? And so when someone like that comes on and just backed up what I said, I'm like, I get it, man.
This was billed as the fight that would either legitimize Pimblett as a real threat at the top of the division or expose him as exactly what the critics always claimed he was. The trash talk had layers this time. Pimblett claimed Scousers simply don't get knocked out.
No one's knocking me out. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm a Scouser. You don't get knocked out.
Chandler clapped back, mocking Pimblett's entrance music, saying real fighters don't need a jingle to sell tickets.
He's also said that you can't knock out a Scouser. What makes you so confident that you're going to be the first to knock out a Scouser?
Hey man, he hasn't been knocked out yet, but he's also not been knocked out by these Jefferson County Javelins. The son of Mike Chandler Sr., a union carpenter for all those years. When I hit people, they go to sleep. I don't need a jingle to try to sell myself. You know who has jingles? Second-rate car insurance salesmen, ambulance chasers, and fast food. I'm the real deal, and the real deal don't need a jingle.
It was sharp, it was funny, and underneath all of it sat a genuinely dangerous style clash.
Paddy, an incredibly high-profile fight. It gets you closer and closer to a title shot. Give us your thoughts on what this matchup means to you.
This is my step closer to becoming a world champion, and I can't wait for it. The Miami fans cannot wait to see the Baddy. It's all about that and more and more.
I can't wait to see it either. Good luck to you, sir. We'll see you tomorrow night. Paddy Pimblett, ladies and gentlemen. Paddy the Baddy. Michael, another high-profile fight, a big name for you. Give us your thoughts on what goes down tomorrow night.
Damn, I'm just excited to compete for you. Miami, I show up every single time. I'm excited. I'm here to prove there are levels to this game. All respect to Paddy the Baddy, but I don't need a jingle. I'm the real deal. Let's do this thing.
Good luck to you, sir.
I thrive in these moments, and I believe Saturday night will be very similar to the last two.
I'm gonna go fucking Chandler, man. Come on, I'm gonna go Chandler. I think Chandler.
Has to be first round KO.
First round. Chandler, first round KO.
I do think I could land a knockout blow as he steps in, like a punch, a kick, a knee, an elbow, anything as he steps in and brings all his weight forward and leans into a shot. I think I could knock him out.
Round 3 is where it turned violent. Pimblett rocked Chandler, jumped on his back, and turned Chandler's face into a bloody mess before the referee had seen enough and stepped in to save him. It was the biggest win of Pimblett's career by a wide margin, and it came against a legitimate killer, not a name padded onto his record for show.
Paddy Pimblett showed tonight that he is the real deal. Beating Michael Chandler and beating him the way that he did, I don't know how you can doubt the kid anymore.
I really thought Chandler was going to beat him, but I was wrong. Paddy's legit, man.
Do you think he could be champion?
Yeah. If he believes it and works hard enough and keeps doing what he's doing, he can be.
Afterward, Pimblett joined a long line of fighters accusing Chandler of fouling him during the fight, pointing to strikes to the back of the head.
Hit me with about 4 punches in the back of the head in the first round. You know what I mean? Not even got said to. But you never know, he might have kicked me on purpose because he needed a little break. So because of that, when he kicked me in the balls, it was a flush kick as well. It was me dick and me balls were still hurting when I said let's go. But as I say, I knew he was tired. I could see he was tired, so I was like, I'm not giving him this breather.
Ask you a straight up question. Is Michael Chandler a cheater?
Bro.
Dog, seriously.
He's a competitor. I think...
Does he break the rules? In the octagon, does he cheat?
Yes.
His finger ended up in your mouth and he pulled.
Oh, dude,
his finger ended up in your eyeball.
Dude, I bit him so hard. Yeah, no. He cupped the top of my top teeth to pull my head up to get a choke in.
Come on, Dustin.
I think it's a sign of weakness when you start talking about a guy cheating. The most interesting one to me was Justin Gaethje. You know, like Justin Gaethje's a savage and like calling me a cheater. I'm like, dude, you know, come on, man. Like it's a little bit of a sign of weakness. But either way, things happen in there. The fans aren't gonna like everything that you do. Fans aren't gonna like you 90% of the time anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
It barely mattered. Nobody was talking about the fouls. They were talking about the finish. 7 straight wins in the UFC, a statement finish over a legitimate contender, and a title shot conversation that could no longer be dismissed.
Do you think Paddy deserves a title shot, or he's not ready to face somebody like Islam?
Paddy's ready to face anybody. I mean, what he's done already, his credentials, his winning record in the UFC, and his hype, and what he can do, how he can motivate people. If they give him the next title shot, he deserves it because they gave it to him. So whoever they give it to him, they give, you know, and let's see who they give him to, who gets into the arena with him next. I don't know, but is he worthy? Yes.
Paddy Pimblett, a future champion in the UFC.
Definitely, possibly. I mean, I think he's better than a lot of us gave him credit for. You know, being in there with him, I wouldn't say that he's got this crazy amount of skills or this crazy amount of power. Or he's crazy good in any direction, but he's not excellent anywhere, but he's good pretty much everywhere. He's got a long body. He uses that range. He uses his kicks really well. You know, whether it was me having a bad night or him having a great night, or that is just who he is. It was tough to kind of get the distance, and by the time I got the distance, took the knee, and then that's fighting.
Pimblett had done exactly what he needed to do. Now the sport's biggest personality was about to walk into the sport's biggest gut check. With Topuria sidelined dealing with personal issues, the interim lightweight title fell into Pimblett's lap, and it came with the most dangerous possible opponent standing in the way, Justin Gaethje, a veteran who treats every fight like it might be his last. This was also the opening headliner of the UFC's brand new broadcast era.
About this landmark deal. So the biggest question, Dana, is why now? Why the change, and how did it all get done?
Well, our deal is expiring, so get out there, started shopping around, and you know, this is where we ended up, and I love it.
The first numbered event of a 7-year, multi-billion-dollar television deal.
Hey, they just announced the UFC just signed some crazy deal with Paramount Plus.
I saw that.
There's going to be no more pay-per-views. All the events are going to be available for everybody for free. Every pay-per-view, every fight card that they have from the Apex, which are my favorite.
Yeah.
Everything is going to be available for free. It's an amazing deal.
The stakes could not have been higher, and Pimblett, for the first time in his UFC career, walked in as the favorite in a genuine 5-round title fight. At the final face-off, Pimblett couldn't resist needling Gaethje about his weight cut, grinning as he asked how it went. Gaethje just smiled back. Everyone in the building knew this was going to be violent from the opening horn.
Oh, as I've been saying this whole time, Justin Gaethje's a legend, and I'm going to come out and I'm going to finish him. I want to add another...
It means everything. I've committed my whole life to this, and this is every fight's the biggest, but this is the biggest fight of my life. I cannot wait to carry the stars and stripes on my back and represent this country like it should be.
Handing Pimblett his first loss inside the octagon and denying him a shot at the undisputed title. Pimblett didn't go quietly. He later revisited the tape publicly.
I don't want to look like a loser right now, but everyone saw I was better than Justin that fight, but the UFC wanted him to win. The lad smashed my eye with his finger. I had to play all of the rounds with a broken eye, which is not fair.
I saw what happened, and I won't let it slide. It's not the first time Justin will do such a cheap tricks with poking eyes like those. His fight against Paddy will be his last game. UFC is only for the real fighters, not the cheater.
He wasn't wrong to be frustrated, but the record books don't care about what should have happened. Even Gaethje, exhausted and bloodied, gave Pimblett his flowers in the cage afterward, admitting the Englishman simply refused to go away. Not an embarrassing loss. A 5-round war against one of the toughest men in the sport that he lost by the narrowest of margins. The question now wasn't whether Pimblett belonged at the top of the division, it was how he'd respond to finally tasting defeat on the biggest stage of his career.
I think one day he will be champion.
In the co-main event, sharing a card with Conor McGregor and Max Holloway's rematch, Pimblett returned just months after the toughest fight of his career to face a relentless French finisher who fights every second like it's his last chance to make a statement.
I'm expect all what you have been waiting for, a violent fight. It's gonna be BSD style, I can promise you. Don't blink, it's gonna be a war, it's gonna be a battle, I'm ready for it. And I cannot wait to be tomorrow and to start serious stuff.
This was the response fight. Lose here, and the doubters get their loudest ammunition yet.
But I think I would favor BSD to win. But because it's likely to be a lot of fighting on the ground, I think Paddy could make it fun. Like, dude, Paddy's fights are, you know, they're not, are they the best fights you've ever seen? Maybe, maybe not. But, you know, how many of them are like, oh my God, I just, you know, it's like watching Tai Tuivasa, like chonkers just lay there on the shoreline doing nothing. No, like there's going to be action. There's action for it. And I think the fans will respond to that.
I expect Benoit to come out and try and take my head off. He's one of the best lightweights in the world. He's going to come out and try and take my head off. But I think it proved against Justin Gaethje that no one's taking my head off, lad. I'm a Scouser. We don't get knocked out.
Is the possibility to becoming the first man to knock out Paddy Pimblett, does it give you some extra motivation?
Man, he's a tough guy, and we are both looking to put each other out, and may the better fighter win. But of course, I'm excited about making the best performance possible, and that's part of it.
You promised these guys that it'll be all done in 2 minutes. Do you stay loyal to these guys here?
Yeah, you've got to back yourself, haven't you? Know what I mean? I'm coming out to get the finish and come away with a bonus. I've got kids to feed now, lad. I want that bonus to go home with, so I'm hunting for it.
Pimblett answered emphatically, closing the show with a submission and pushing his overall MMA record to 24-4. Fresh off criticizing Topuria for quitting on his stool after his own title loss, Pimblett made sure there was no ambiguity about how he'd bounce back from his first defeat. None in the cage, but plenty outside of it, as Pimblett immediately turned his attention back to Topuria, mocking him relentlessly for tapping out against Gaethje weeks earlier and promising to send him back down to featherweight. One loss. That's all it took people to learn about him. Not a fall from grace, not a collapse. Just further proof that whether he's winning or losing, whether he's got a belt around his waist or not, Paddy Pimblett is going to grab a microphone and make you feel something. Strip away the wins and the losses for a second, and look at what's actually built this career. This is a fighter who cried in the octagon over a friend's death and turned that grief into a message that reportedly stopped fans from taking their own lives.
Well, obviously, as everyone knows, I brought Baby Lee with me last time. He lost his battle a couple of weeks ago. He died at 4 years of age. And I had some other horrible news the other day. 5 hours before I was due to weigh in, I woke up and found out one of my mates himself. As I said there, I just wish lads would talk more. You know, women speak to each other all the time if we've got something on their head, but lads don't. They sit in and they bottle it up and they end up taking their own lives, something that they can't take back. Men just need to talk more, lad. Just need to get it off the chest.
I go to a funeral the other week, lad. It was hard, very hard. You shouldn't have to ever go to a 40-year-old's funeral. It's just something that no one should ever have to do. Especially his mum and dad. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have to bury your own child.
This is a fighter who threw hand sanitizer at a rival in a hotel lobby and then, years later, publicly wished that same rival well when his family was struggling. This is a fighter who gets roasted for his weight cut, roasted for his jingle.
They go to sleep, I don't need a jingle to try to sell myself. You know who has jingles? Second-rate car insurance.
Roasted by pundits who call his fan base delusional and simply doesn't care because every ounce of that noise sells more tickets. He's not the pound-for-pound best fighter on the roster. He'll tell you that himself. What he is honest in a sport addicted to manufactured storylines. When he's happy, the whole arena knows it. When he's grieving, the whole arena knows it. When he hates somebody, he doesn't hide behind diplomatic press conference language. He tells you exactly how much he hates them and exactly why. That's rare. That's precious, and that's exactly why, win or lose, title or no title, Paddy Pimblett has become the biggest personality in the UFC today. Look back across this entire timeline, and the pattern never changes. A kid with no pedigree talks his way into a title shot conversation. A fighter loses his biggest fight of the year and turns right around to remind everyone why they fell in love with him in the first place. A rivalry built on real hatred somehow turns into mutual respect the second real life gets hard for either man. Every single time the sport tries to write him off, he grabs the nearest microphone and proves why they can't stop watching. That's the actual secret behind Paddy Pimblett's rise. It was never really about being undefeated, it was about being unforgettable. If this breakdown hit different, smash that like button, subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive, and drop a comment telling me which Pimblett fight you'd want broken down frame by frame next. The Baddy era is far from over, and neither is this channel.